We're back for tier 3. We're back again. Australia this week, and I think we got 17 drivers. So it's not a bad turnout. It should be a fun one. Also going to be trying something new today. I say new, I did it last week, but it was a bit of a tester. It was my mate Bailey who was racing under his Basil Fox, and he talked a bit of shite and party, so it wasn't that insightful, but we might have a bit of insight. Because what I'm going to do this week, I'm going to try and join parties of some of the drivers mid-session. So when we're under safety car or if we're switching between quali and race, I'll pop in and just get a bit of insight from the drivers on track mid-race rather than wait until the end to see what they're up to. As per usual, I'll need to change some settings before we get into the race. Just before we get to see the hot laps, as I want to make sure the audio is all nice and balanced, and I'm louder than the bloody cars because they're very loud. I think we should be good with that. I think that should be alright. It's nice and clear. I got the mic arm up, so it should be nice and crisp. We've got a few people yet to come out. Well, everyone's yet to come out. We've got a few people about to come out ready now, so we'll get the track map up so we can see all of that crap. I think it's a McLaren out first in Chug Spam, so we'll jump on board with him. Oh, look at the bloody sides of that McLaren. That's funky. I've got a bit of a different camera angle today. Thought I'd mix it up and make it a bit more to the right, so it's not hidden behind the leaderboard as per usual. But we'll see how it goes. I'm excited. I'm a big fan of Australia. I think it's a wicked track. The changes they made, not only for real life but in the game, they're just really fun to drive. We got him, and I think it's a Williams behind out for the first 2 runs. So once we've had a bit of a lap with Chug, I think I'll stay on with Chugs for the whole of the first lap as we usually do in the start of the session. Then we'll have a look at some drivers in behind. Funky helmet there, nice blue design. I like this camera angle because you can see a lot more. You can see the full wheel on most of the cars. Some cars you might not because they're all built a bit differently, but you can see the inputs there. Nice little rev limiter without having to have the telemetry on. See the helmet design as well. Everyone's got separate helmets, which is quite cool. I wish you could change them a bit more like you can on GT, but it's Codemasters, we can't wish for everything. At least we've got a game that's kind of working at the moment. But anyways, Chug starting his lap now for the McLaren boys. Coming in turn 1, decent apex, doesn't take much of it, but doing that doesn't unsettle the car, so it's not too bad to do as long as you hold the pace decently and take the apex and the exit curve nicely. Nice apex here, not extending the track enough to make a good advantage of the corner for a good banker lap, but at the moment it's looking clean, getting a bit of slide there, quite a fast corner, can get pulled along through the apexes with dragging your wheels out a bit, which can cause a bit of oversteer. But keeping it nice and tight now, clinging onto the yellow line as he comes round the bends that used to be the old chicane, coming onto the fast chicane now, hugging the yellow lines once again, swooshing back out for the entry of the left-hander. Decent apex there, very good apex there, taking a lot of the curb, comes around pretty nicely, holds a decent amount of pace for a banker. The tyres aren't going to be too pushed into the ground. Obviously, as it's the start of the session, we're going to still be waiting for the track to build up with grip. There's not going to be much rubber pushed into it, so it's not a bad lap, to be fair. For a banker, it's a pretty clean lap. There's no fundamental mistakes that we saw there, so it should be an alright one. Not a bad one to start for Chugs there. Comes across for a 1:18.6, not too bad. Now if we jump back now, I think we've got, you know what, let's get on somewhere in the middle of the pack so we can see a bit of lap rather than keep jumping between the ones who are just crossing the line. We can just keep track of the time of the ones we're missing out. So we've got Polish man setting a 1:18.8, so about 2/10 off the provisional pole at the moment. Nice little apex there from Mazzles in the Alpine, coming around now. Tricky corner this. Even like the curve is nice to exit on, and usually it's quite balanced, and the car doesn't mind it. But sometimes it does just grip the rear left and swing you off into the right. So nicely done there. He comes across now to set a P4 with a 1:19 flat. So yeah, I wasn't wrong about Chug Spams. It's a very decent lap for a banker. First of the session. least chance to be top of the pack when you're going out on a fresh track, but he's done really well there. Got a few people now. Bailey coming around the last few corners. He has invalidated, so he won't be setting a time for now. Richie coming around the exact same as well. Not going to be setting a time. We got Bunnies coming around for an outlap now, so we'll stick on with him while we take a look through the times for his hot lap. Chug's still P1, obviously, so we saw that. We got Indian Jesus jumped up ahead of Polish Man for P2 in the Mercedes. Sorry, Mazel sticking with P4. Gautier Le Felon in P5 at a 119.1, so tightly knit at the front, even for it being the first lap of the sessions. RPM Eek 119.2, very close as well. Jay Hartnell dropping down a little bit more, going into the point threes now for the 19s in P7. Digweed for his first lap of 119.4, not too bad. We've seen someone jump there, and I believe that was Greek Bill going for a 118.9, just pushing Mazzles down and everyone below a step. Fandango in P10 after oh, there's a spin there from Bunnies. Like I said, I did say on the lap with Chug Spams that curb can really grip the rear left and it'll send you swinging, and it's done exactly that for the Haas there. Unfortunate, but he's got plenty of time to correct it and get on with it himself. Yeah, everyone else then. G-Wheels set a lap for P11 and everyone else yet to set a time, as we can see them all in the pits, bar Bunnies and Draper. We'll get on with Draper. Ooh, what's going on there? Oh, Christ. Draper's got a 5-place grid penalty. So, I'm not too sure what happened, but the benefit is we might be able to jump in a park with him at the end of the session and see what happened and get a bit of insight before we have to wait for stewards, which will be in a few days. So that is nice. Nice little advantage we have at the moment to see if it plays out well. Everyone just in the pit stop phase now, getting the fresh tyres on, getting ready to go for the second run. Got Jade Hartnell on a lap, I believe, so we'll stick with him for a bit on the Red Bull. Funky helmet design there. Oh no, sorry, there's a bit of yellow. You can see that bit of yellow string on top of his helmet. That's just the end of the air intake of the Red Bull, because we are on a bit of an odd camera angle. Sometimes you can get a bit of clipping through the graphics, but it's okay. We can look past that for now. Unfortunately, you can't change the camera angle while you're spectating, which is annoying. I don't think you can anyway, but I'm not going to pause and ruin the viewing of this lap here, because it's looking alright so far for Jay Hartnell. Should be good. We've got a lot of people coming out now, getting ready for the second runs. Many people not waiting any time at all, just want to get out there and keep the momentum going, which is what I like to do, to be fair. A lot of people in like tier 1 where I race like to wait and really take their time and wait till the last second to get the best of the track, but I'm really impatient. I just want to get out and race while I'm warm. So don't blame it. We've got a spin at the back and Draper's crashed. Hell of a session for him so far. He's got a 5-place grid penalty, which isn't going to matter, to be quite frank, because he's crashed out on his own now. So he will be starting plumb last as long as no one else gets a DSQ, which I don't think they will. I don't think there's any qualifying bans for tier 3. We'll have to have a gander, but I don't think there is. I'll be honest, boys. I don't even know where I'd look. So I saw a ping about them earlier, but I don't know where the hell they were. Maybe pit board? Oh, it might be race control. It is. Right. Only person who's got a quali ban is Kobe, and he's not here, so don't matter. So nothing to worry about on our end. There's a few quali bans. There's also a race ban in one of the tiers in Cone that's been served at the moment, but tier 3 seems to be doing pretty well on that front at the moment. Right, let's get back on with some of the front runners now. Indian Jesus was ghosting there. I don't know why. If he's on a hot lap, he should be okay. But Polish Man now in the third sector of his lap. Ooh, Bazza Fox jumps up for P3, 118.8, marginally ahead of Polish Man, who is about to set a time himself again. Let's see if he can get a punch back to Bailey and jump him after setting his second lap. Can he? He cannot. Stays P4. He stays P4 because I think I'm an idiot and he's starting his lap now and he was on an out lap because he's still got full battery, so never mind me there. Bailey goes P3. Fandango We see this a lot. Fandango going P1. Fandango is always pretty decent in quality. He just needs to find the form. I say find the form in the race. He's had an unlucky run last week, getting caught up in a collision with a few other drivers that was not his fault at all. So pretty sympathetic to that. Wow, Bailey's absolutely nailed that apex there. Absolutely nailed it, but it's not going to matter because he's on an in lap. But Jesus, if you can do that on his lap, you'll gain a lot of time. It was that good, it looked like he was completely off track, but you just about stick on and avoid a warning there. Back on with Polishman now, who is genuinely on lap this time. Not like he was bloody 2 minutes ago when I absolutely fumbled it. See how he does here. Doesn't take too much speed around there. That's a very conservative last sector for the Williams driver, but oh, it's like he heard me because he pushed too much in the last corner after being conservative in the first two. In the first two before that, not going to be any good for him. Not going to improve. Digweed improves P3. Gautier Fillon improves as well after getting off track to not get in the way of everyone. That's going to be a bit of a distraction for the Mercedes, but I don't think he's on a lap, so he'll be okay. Baza Fox being pushed down to P7, while Polishman P8, Greek Bill P9, and Richie in P10 at the moment. Still got people on laps. Let's see if Chug Spam's looking to improve any more. Just caught him as he started. No, he's just started a lap. Sorry, finished a lap. So he's improved even more. 118.4 at the moment, so he's looking very good for this session. Fandango just behind, about 10th behind, pretty much exactly a 10th behind, with a few dots to the margin. Mazel's improved with a 118.6 as well. Is he on a lap? I don't believe so, as he will end up running out of ERS at the end of the lap by looking at his battery. Gautier Fillon on a in lap by the looks of it. Indian Juice on an out lap, so we'll just stick with him. We'll go on cinematic camera and let's hide the bloody UI. Why have I not done that yet? It's amateur. No need for that to be up there. I think I know my squares to my X's. Christ. But we'll be alright. See how he does then. Don't really use this camera much, to be honest. I quite like riding on board. Same with a in real life F1 as well. You know, on the Sky remote you can press and you can go on board. I don't do that for the old race because you want to hear the commentary and see what's going on across track. I'm not a bloody race director like. I just want to watch it. But I do enjoy watching it on board. It's a bit nicer to me. I think the biggest issue with F1 these days is the perception of speed. Like, you know, when you're watching the F1 and you got the cameras that are perfectly tracking the cars as they go up Real Rouge. They're looking at the car and they're tracking it perfectly. Helicam, Steadicam, whatever it is. It just takes away from the perception of how fast the cars are going. One of my favourite things to see in F1 is the static cameras. Like the cameras that are sat there, sometimes in the curbs, especially Eau Rouge, when you can just see the cars absolutely bomb it past them. And without that, like they're doing it on the F1 game here, so see how the camera perfectly tracks the car. It kind of takes away how quick it's going because the camera's going at the same pace as it in its movement. So it's nice. It's nice to see some static camera angles. I think there are some on the game. If we do see any in this session, I'll point it out. I'm surprised that wasn't invalid there for Indian Jesus. Took a lot of the exit curb there, but he should be okay. Comes around pretty quick for the last corner. Doesn't extend as much as you can do. But I think it's an improvement, and it is. It's a 118.2. So while we were talking crud about how F1 direct its races, that's a stonking lap for the Mercedes driver. I think we've got Baza Fox out on a lap now. Lovely apex into turn 1. It doesn't extend too much in the exit, but his apex in turn 1 was brilliant anyway, and turn 2. So I think he carries enough speed without me having to justify him going even wider. But he's looking alright now, carrying a nice bit of speed there. Lovely exit there, taking as much of the track as you can. Nice and tight there, no issues at all. Coming around, gripping onto the yellow lines. He's going to have a bit of traffic. Hopefully they get out of the way and not cause any issue. But this is looking very good so far for the Red Bull driver. Red Bull crowned world champions yesterday and all. So any Red Bull fans will be ecstatic. It was always going to happen. Last few races of the season, they've been on top of it. And we've got the Ferrari getting in the way nice and safely there. So that's going to be Brilliant for Bazza as he comes round. This is looking like a lovely lap. Coming around to the right-hander now. Ooh, he has gone wide. It's not invalid. I'm not sure what he's going to do about that. He's in the pits, okay. Okay, so I think there's a bit of good sportsmanship there from Bailey. Or he might have just been on an in lap that looked brilliant, because I'm a bit clueless when it comes to qualifying on my own. A lot of people in the pits now, because everyone is just getting ready for the final runs now. That's what matters now. People aren't going to be too worried about setting bankers and setting laps now. That should be invalid and all. Bloody hell, the track limits around here are very lenient. Nothing like how we saw in Kota last night, but yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if Trunders gets in the pits. He'd be tight on time, to be fair. It's not a long lap, so he'd definitely be able to get out again, but I think he should pit now. I think that might have been a bit of a mistake, and it has been a mistake. Yeah, I don't think that was the right choice there to stay out. I think it definitely would have been the right choice to just risk the time management and get in the pits, get on a fresh set and just push it till the very end. Because now, I can guarantee you that you will not get in the pits and set another lap. So that is Trunders in P16 for the race, and that's going to be it. There's no turning up for him. I mean, no, I don't think. I was going to say he could have a run up to the line, but I don't think he will. That'll be him for this session done. Greek Bill gone P2 in the Williams, which is nice to see for me as a Williams man myself, fighting in the Constructors for Tier 1. Lovely little lap there. P3 is Chug still. Fandango P4. Gautier Fillon jumps Mazzles into P5 with a 118.5. Now, let's get the Delta to the leader. We'll see how the gaps are doing. So we've got very close between the top two, within the same tenth. And then after that, it does gain quite a bit by a tenth. So 3 times the gap from P1 to 2. And then same with P4. We go down into the 2.5 tenths away from leader. And it is quite stretched out. So there's definitely room for improvement for many of these drivers, which I'm sure there is. Now we've got Gautier Fillon not setting a lap at the moment, just getting his tyres sorted. And Chugs, who is on 100% battery as well, so he's not on a lap. So everyone just getting ready to push it for the very last moment there. Greek Bill, I believe, starting his lap. So let's have a ride on board with him, and we'll go into a bit of a depth of his lap. Turns in at the brake in the barriers on the left. Nice exit there. Takes all of the exit curb, carrying as much speed as he can, throttle down early as he can, braking at the blackboard, cutting in for the apex. Nice and tight. Doesn't extend too much, but it's not a worry because you need to extend here to make sure you've got a nice wide entry for this corner. Nice and stable through here. No wobble to the rear. Braking at the brake in the barriers as we do for turn 1. Lovely apex that. It's such a satisfying corner to go around this year. It was a fun corner in the last generations of the game, but this year it's been absolutely, it's just a wicked corner. The track's just really fun to drive in general. Pad or wheel. Braking in the black box just after cutting the apex here. You don't need to be fair. As long as you can carry the pace and keep the car stable, you don't need to cut that one, as it can unsettle the car. But he's taking the safe route and he comes round, hitting the yellow, not the red. Now if when I hit the red there, it can jump the car quite a bit. Comes round, doesn't apex too great, but his exit is nice on to the rumble strips. Nice tight apex here. This has been a brilliant lap. Coming around, really nice apex there. Those white lines can throw you off if you're using no line, but he's nailed it perfectly, and he has improved. 117.9, making the gap a 0.35 of tenths. Brilliant lap from him. Indian Jesus crashes out. Chugs is on a lap now, so we'll jump on with him. He's 2 tenths up, so we'll jump on with Fandango, who is also 2 tenths up, and Gautier Fillon is off his time, so we will not be improving this session. Mazzles is just improving slightly. He might have gained a lot more time in the last corner that we didn't see, but he doesn't. He gains a little bit, but it's nothing extra that can push him up the positions too much. Now, Chugs and Fandango were 2 tenths over on their time, and Chugs is definitely going to be more than 2 tenths over, and so is Fandango as he pits after seeing Chugs Bams' mistake. Gautier Fillon, as we said, not improving. Digweed has finished, he's in P7. Bailey Fox is a 10th up on his time, so he is looking to gain a position or two. Quite slow on that exit there. I think he's struggling with a bit of chronic understeer by the looks of it. Coming round and he's swinging the car and a massive hit to the barrier. Struggling a lot with the car there. In his Sky Ace helmet colours. He's a big fan of horse racing, big fan of Sky Ace, won him a lot of money. And he reps the colours ever since, which I don't blame. Everyone's done there. Brilliant lap from Greekbill. Honestly, that was a pleasure to watch. Even his it was Chugspam's banker, sorry, that really stood out for us. The first lap of the session was brilliant, and the last lap of the session was very good as well in Greekbill. So lovely pole there. Now, like I said, we're trying something today, and we're gonna get in a party with. I tell you what, we're getting a party with Greekbill and see how he feels about pole. How about that? Hello, boys. You good? Very good, mate. That was a good session, Greekbill. Yeah. What do you think of that? The final lap was wicked. People were setting good banker laps, to be fair, and it was going to be a struggle to get pole, but the last lap you just nailed it. They didn't really look like there was any mistakes. Do you think there was any more time to be gained, or do you think you'd reached your peak with that? Yeah, it was very good. Hopefully, all your audio sharing is turned on. But cheers for that, boys. Good luck in the race. I'll let you get on with it, and I'll go speak to someone else quickly. Have a good one. That was funky. Right, I think Draper was available to talk to about his thing. So let me just check that. It's not. Okay, so thought we was going to be able to speak to Draper, but he's not actually in a party, unfortunately. But we just heard from the pole sitter there. It's nice to see that one of the top ones, well, I say top one, he's literally on pole. So it's nice to see that his party was open for us to go and have a little chat. And he said he was pretty much on the limit there. So wasn't too bad. Couldn't have improved too much, he said, which is, don't surprise me. The lap was pretty good. Just waiting for everyone now to get their setups in check, get the fuel in check, and then we can get on with racing. My voice is already gone. I've talked so much shite in this. Talked so much rubbish in this first session that I forgot I'm solo, and I gotta do the whole race on my own as well. So I'm gonna have a sip of water, a second, boys, and then we'll get back to it, and then have a look at the tyres and see how it goes. I say sip of water. I just had a massive chug. No pun intended. Uh, I'll tell you what. I haven't even looked at the chat yet. Absolutely amateur of me. Let's get in the chat and see if anyone's having a waffle. They are. There's a few people waffling. Is it any way of me joining this league? Fantastic Formula One, mate. If you just go into, surely in the bio of the channel there'll be a Discord link, and you should be able to get in there, get in the Discord, sign yourself up. Lovely to have you. Forza Cone, Dragon on speed on Dragon. I think he's got that on copy and paste. That's probably his predicted text, because I think he says it at least 4 times a week, which I respect. Even and all from Waitsy. Hello, Waitsy. Waitsy, I don't know if you remember me. I had a different name, but we used to race in Celeritas back in the day before that shut down. We had a few crashes, and then we made up and said our piece. Nice to see you. I saw you joined Cone a few weeks ago, and I forgot to say hello. Atomic, even guys and gals. Hello, Atomic. Had a bit of a race with him yesterday in 5 laps. He gave me a bit of argy-bargy, so see how his racing goes this week. Can't hear the drivers. Ah, you're joking. Right, that's all right. So basically, when I just went into the interview with the drivers, they haven't got the audio sharing on, so I'll have to make sure we get drivers to do that in the future. But all he said basically, Greekbill said he was pretty much on the limit. Had a really good lap. There wasn't much time he could have gained. He said he could have gained a few hundredths, but apart from that, he was really happy with the lap. It's not his favourite track as well, he said, which is interesting because he was absolutely rapid. He started on mediums. Interesting. Maybe expecting a few safety cars. I think we're all good though. I'm just gonna mute myself a minute while we're in the formation lap, just so I can check the audio levels and look at the stream back myself, which I haven't done yet, which I probably should have, but I think we should be okay. Back in a sec, boys. Yeah, we're all good. We are gravy. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna turn the audio down one click because it does feel a bit loud. Does feel a little bit loud on board compared to my voice, so we should be good. I don't want to turn my mic up because it'll start to peak. So I think we're good now. Anyways, let's get a look at the tyres, like I said we would. Excuse me. Wow, medium galore everywhere. I thought we'd see a lot more hards at the start because of how tricky the hard warm-up will be in the second stint. But I guess if people are expecting safety cars, they might want to save the hards. But usually I'm the opposite. I like to get the hards out and done with for the first stint, and then if there's an early safety car, you have the choice of staying out or going in. But then if there is a late safety car, you've got the choice of mediums or softs rather than just having softs, because no one's going to want to go on hards at the end of a race when there's what 5 laps to go. But when it gets to that point and you've got the mediums free, it just gives you that extra choice and that safety, because sometimes softs can't even really go 5 or more laps on some tracks. That's just the way it is this year. The degradation is massive. Just got Draper pulling up now after getting his 5-place grid penalty. It didn't matter too much because he crashed out after pulling up into his grid slot, and we're about to go. Oh, what a crap out camera angle. Oh, Christ. Right, we're going to have to get on board. Lights are about to go out. They're gone. We've got the Williams, and he's not had the greatest of starts to the Mercedes in P2 on the mediums. Alpine absolutely rocketing into P3. Got the Mercedes there. Also, McLaren, sorry, getting pushed a little bit wide. But apart from that, it looks all good from the front runners. There has been a bit of a collision at the back, but everyone's actually still carried on in the queue, so no spins off turn 1. I've jinxed it. We've got a spin, and it's from Trunders. I think he got tapped in the rear there at the back. But apart from that, everything's looking good. Oh! Big snap from the Haas there in Bunnies. I don't know how he saved that. Bloody hell. That was bloody close. But, yeah, bloody. But, anyways. Greek build not getting the best of starts on the mediums. Indian Jesus did. He took it into P1 after starting P2 on the grid. They've broken away quite a bit now from P4 and up. Quite the gap already, considering it being only 1 lap. But if people are battling and pushing side by side, it's just going to cause you time as you're basically going around the corner at half speed compared to everyone else who are following the snake. Bailey in P6 at the moment on the medium. So have a look at the position changes. Where do I look at that? There we go. Position changes at the moment. So, yeah, tit for tat. There's a few people going up, there's a few people going down, as it has to be, with one or the other. And Indian G is jumping up to P1. Mazzles with a great start up to P3 from P6. Bailey Fox doing the same amount of overtakes so far, with 3 going from 9 to 6. So it's not too bad for him on the mediums as well. Biggest loser of the session so far looks to be Eek with 4 position losses. Trunder's only losing 1 with a spin, but he's in the pit, so he's probably lost the most time. But when it comes to positions, it is going to be Eek that has lost the most. Everything's looking okay though, I think. To be fair, apart from the 1 spin and a little bit of a wobble from the Haas, we're not doing too bad. Never mind, we've had another spin. Don't know if it was any other driver's fault, but... Oh, we got another spin! Trunders is around as well in the Aston Martin. Cold tyres coming out the pits. Much more to be desired than that, unfortunately. But, like I said, apart from that, we're looking alright. Deltas are starting to even out. I can stop shouting a little bit, and we can get on with it. I tell you what, it's so strugglesome. I know poor me, like, but Christ, my throat ain't got it, you know. I need one of G-Sun Park's lungs, like, because my throat's gone already, but we're good. We're alright. A few gaps. Oh, let's take the gap off the leader, sorry. Let's get back on the intervals. I was wondering why I was getting confused there. Because when I commentate, I like to look at the deltas just so we can try and catch and overtake before it happens. Side-by-side action here between the Ferrari and the Alpine. Bit of a bash, but nothing enough to worry about. Overtake there for Digweed into P7. Front runners really balancing out now. Not too much. Oh, Polish man Goatee is struggling. Has he got damage? He doesn't look like he does on the left-hand side, but on the right-hand side he doesn't either. Not visually anyway. But he just seems to be struggling a bit. I say struggling. He's one of the minority, which is odd, because usually the people on the hards are the majority. But he is a minority at the moment, being on the hards. So people with mediums are going to be starting to try and push past him. And they need to, because if you start on the mediums, you have to take the advantage in the first few laps and make that gap. Because when it comes to the pit stop phase, you will inevitably lose time because of the amount of time it takes to heat up the hards compared to the mediums or softs. I doubt anyone's going to go on softs, but you know, it is just a lot easier, and it's a fact. So yeah, there's no wonder that the Ferrari is dropping a bit of time there. But let's see how the other hard runners are doing. So Fandango and Chug Spams, currently the cream of the crop when it comes to the hard runners, sticking it not in the DRS of the front three. They've kind of gapped and done what I've just said, taking that advantage. But apart from that, they are doing pretty well. Same with Polish man. Not doing too bad on the hards, but he does need to push into DRS as soon as he can. Fandango can kind of lift off, ease off, because he's in the DRS. He can just focus on Chugs pushing him along. Goodyear fell on, has had a spin, and I wonder if it was down to contact, but he was struggling on the hards, so it does not surprise me too much. Apart from that, everything looking okay. We got Eek right on the back of Draper. Draper having an unfortunate first session, and I think Eek, with his battery, has got a bit of an advantage, about a 25% advantage to the Alfa Romeo. I think he might try and push for an overtake soon to try and climb that ladder to the top positions, but at the moment it's all evening out. Pretty simple racing at the moment, nothing to shout about yet, but I'm sure when we get to the pit stop phases things are going to change. What's going on here? Fandango right on the back of Chug Spams. Obviously, we do have DRS now, and because of that little squabble between the two ahead, Bailey's caught right to the back of these two. And it's going to be interesting on the front straight. We can see the gap there, so Bailey's not got too much to worry about behind him, apart from his rear wheels, because they're about to kick out and nearly cost him quite a bit of race time and quite a few positions, but he managed to save it and not go overboard on the throttle enough to spin, manages to catch it and look at the exit, much bigger exit, and I think he had to might have lift a little bit there because of the overspeed he had compared to the AlphaTauri, as he just gets ahead into braking and absolutely clears him. The AlphaTauri is going to have a gamble going on the inside again, a little bit of contact I think, and he's gone for the switchback, and he's there, but not enough to warrant any room on the outside. Bazza Fox gets the position done, but Chug Spams has absolutely walked away with it while watching them squabble, which is he's going to be very happy about. Not too much to talk about apart from that. We've got Digweed actually. I'm waffling because Digweed's making a move on Fandango. So Fandango has lost quite a bit from that little bit of a squabble. And we've got yellow flags because I believe Bunnies has had a spin. And he might have even crashed out because he doesn't seem to be moving on the track map. You can see up into turn 6 or 7 I think it is. And he's slowly getting away the white dot on our screen. So no safety car risk there unless he's got a full red front wing. But I think race control would have called it before this point, so I think we're safe. Digweed just creeping up then to Bazza, but Bazza's already got DRS, so he is going to take quite the advantage on this main straight. You can see Digweed there. If you look closely at his steering wheel, the green power LED is on, so he is using battery to try and stick with him. We've got a spin again. Bunnies, he's obviously lost focus in his rears and has lost a bit of grip, and now they've gone all over the place. Taking another spin, unfortunately, but that's just the way it is. You've got to be patient with the old tyres, the cooked tyres, to let them get back down to a raceable temperature. Ooh, very close there from Richie getting right on the back of Ashjay. We've got Eek and Draper swapping over, and we got a penalty first of the session for J Wells and P14. Very close there from Richie, as I said, almost going for a move on the outside, but we did have the Aston Martin just taking the outside before letting the Mercedes get a chance to battle for it. But Bailey's still on the back, and Digweed, although Bailey's got the advantage of DRS, Digweed's doing a commendable job to stick with them. Not in DRS, but right on the edge of it. Just sitting in limbo, waiting for it to happen. But it's going to take Chug Spams and Bailey Fox having a little bit of a battle for it to really get into his grasp. Because at the moment, if they're keeping the same pace, there's no reason for him to drop back. They're on the same tyres, same health tyres. It's not really going to be too easy for Digweed to get in unless the two ahead start tussling between each other. Well, I thought Chug Spams might have a moment there, but I think he's okay. Greek Bill sitting with Indian Jesus, nice and calm by the looks of it, not worrying too much about it. A lot of people taking the right-hander here quite cautiously. You can hear it on the RPM. A lot of people lifting. You don't need to brake for it, but you do have to lift in the first portion of the race when you've got that full tank of fuel. Because of the amount of fuel you have the tank slappers and the roll on the car. So it's like with the I think we talked about how grip works in these F1 cars. We got Draper around, I think, at the back, or J Wheels, one of the two. Hopefully he's okay, he's getting away. But yeah, last week we had a little discussion about how grip works with the F1 cars. So obviously we know that we run on slick tyres for this sport. And it's interesting because you talk to someone about it who isn't into F1, they don't really, side by side here, we don't really, there's a bit of a contact. Just saves himself from spinning by getting contact with a Mercedes. So yeah, lost position there, but he's not going to be too mad when he knows that he's not spun after all, so he's still got a race to fight for. But yeah, we talked about how we're on the slicks and how grip works, and if you talk to someone who doesn't really have an interest in F1 or such sports like this, it's an odd thing to have slick tyres on a car. It doesn't make sense. You think tread is the way to go, but it's just the way this is. So with a lot of high fuel, you're pushing those tyres right down, and with this corner, which we were initially on about, with people lifting and taking it cautiously, it's tricky because if you take a bit too much speed, you can go to the right and you can have to tank slapper when you try to steer it back left once you have that bit of oversteer, and it can be a risk. But I'm sure as we get down a few laps and as that fuel goes down, we will see a bit more risk being taken in the corners like that, and this corner as well. You can see how you just got to be really careful and take a nice tight line. Well, not tight, but you don't want to, with corners like that in the start of races on the harder compounded tyres, you just don't want to turn as much as, like, you want to turn as least as you can pretty much. You want to keep the car as planted and straight as possible while making the corner at a fast rate, which is ideal when you're going through corners like that. Couple spins there from the Alfa Romeo. I think it might have been J Wheels, and it is, as he's backwards on an apex, being quite the nuisance to the drivers, coming around to lap him. Well, not lap him, but come past him. But he seems to be okay and getting on his jolly now. Richie and J Wheels first to take the penalties of the track limits. That guy Draper joining them too. Yellow flags for Bunnies, I believe. No, it is RPM Eek. I think it's a debut for him. Oh, Digweed! Oh, what's happened to Digweed? Why is he stopped? I think we've got a wheel disconnection. I think we've got a wheel disconnection from Digweed here. Unfortunately. Oh, that is tough. If it is some sort of malfunction, because I don't think he'd choose himself to just stop on track like that. If he's been in a collision, he'd want to get back on track as soon as possible safely. That is very unfortunate. Puts Fandango into P6 and Podgeman into P7. Yellow flags ahead of the Williams and AlphaTauri here, as it is another, I think, Alfa Romeo, and it is. I wonder if we do see an Alfa Romeo come to the pits to retire, as in J Wells, because that guy Draper, although he's picked up a penalty, he's having a much better race than he did last week. And there we go, J Wells, the first retirement of the session. We did expect it. He's had an unfortunate first few laps with the spins, and he's decided to hang up the gloves and the helmet for today. Very close between these two. P6 and P7. We've got Bailey up in P5, who's still connected to the back of Jug Spams. Hasn't really done too much to push himself ahead. I think he's content with the pace that he's doing, but I think at some point... Oh, it's a safety car. What's called that out? Who's dead? No one's dead. Weird. Someone must have smacked a wing, because usually it takes a crash to bring out a safety car. The only other alternate way to bring out a full safety car is a car stopped on track, which there hasn't been. I mean, there was Digweed, but he has got running again. He has not got any front wing though, so that might be the reason why. Like we said, the other alternate way to get a safety car out is to get your whole wing taken off. It's just one of the ways that the game does it. But yeah, safety car it is, so we get a breath of fresh air for a minute. I can chill out, I can have a drink of water as these guys get ready to get on a fresh set of tyres. I'm sure some of them will, because they all did, well, the majority of them. Oh no, Greek Bill! Oh, I mean, he hasn't given penalty to Indian Jesus, so he's got away with one there. He is going to face the consequence of having to change his wing himself and lose time because of that, but I think he'll be alright. I don't think he'll get penalised after the race for that, because it hasn't really affected anyone else. It's just affected himself, which is enough justice in my eyes as a steward. But if it's in the rules and it is reported, then I'm sure it can be punished, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, as I said, a lot of people started on medium, so it is a good time for a safety car to come out. It's a third of the way through the race, and that ratio of a third to, well, 10 to 20 laps going on to the hards does make sense. Fandango going on the softs, I guess that's because he started on hard, so I think Fandango's going to pit again. I wouldn't expect him to stay out on the soft for the rest of the race. I think that would be suicidal, to be frank. But yeah, Bailey going on the hards. Chug Spam's on the mediums now. Did Chug Spams not pit, or was he on hards to start with? Let me take a look. Actually, great. That race director glitch is going to kill someone in a race. By the way, I don't know if all of you know, but just be careful when you're racing in a league race, because if you pause to take a look at a race director mid race, the first time you do it, sometimes it just boots you out and chucks you back on track. And if you're mid corner with AI, you'll just not realise and you'll end up killing yourself. So careful with that. But yeah, Chug Spams was on hards initially, so he's now been forced onto his mediums, which is not ideal for 20 laps. Curious to how that will go. Polish man has done the opposite to him. He started on the same compound, to be fair, but he has stayed out because he thinks there's going to be another opportunity to pit. Or even if he doesn't think that, he just knows that the mediums aren't going to last that 20 laps. Same with Fandango. He started on hards, going on to softs now. Doesn't think the mediums will go all the way. It's going to be interesting. We've got a few people on mediums now because of their initial tyre choice, but I think the people who started on mediums are looking very good. As long as there's no more safety cars, they're going to be okay towards the end of the race. No worry about degradation overtaking them when it comes to how long we have left. But I think the medium runner and the soft runner, obviously I think that is a tactical soft as it was for Trunders and Ashjay. Yeah, I think they're going to struggle. Medium tyres will struggle to the end, and I think they're going to be banking on another safety car to pull them back for another pit stop for maybe soft at the end. Or even just a safety car to help them give the mediums a break mid-stint. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. Fandango's not got off the softs. I'm really interested about that. It doesn't click in my head with any sort of smart strategy, to be honest. I can see why you do it. You can hope for a safety car, but I mean, Australia is very demanding on tyres, and if there's not a safety car for him within the next 6 or 7 laps, I mean, it's not guaranteed. We've gone 12 without one, so if we do go without a safety car for the next few laps, he's really going to be strugglesome, because he might have to pit again before there is a chance for another one, which will put him even further down the grid. But like we said, well, like Martin Brundle said yesterday, after the Fernando Alonso crash and Lance Stroll, safety cars do cause safety cars. So I'm sure, with everyone being bunched back up, that they'll be okay, and I think they'll have another chance to get in the pits at a cheaper cost. Safety car coming in this lap. So let's get on the front, and as they're slowing down, I'm going to take a drink, and if they've gone before I've had a drink, tough luck. I'm dry. God, I need a Strepsil or something. I can't do this on my own anymore. I need someone. Anyways, he's gone nice and slow. He must have hit stream. Oh, 3-second penalty. You got your fill on. He's got a penalty bloody on a safety car restart. How have you done that, mate? Anyways, Indian Cheese gets away nice and cleanly. We'll have a jump through the grid as they come into turn 1. There's no way that Williams sends it. No, he doesn't. Everyone coming along. Oh, my! Yeah, AlphaTauri in the back going off. Sent it up the inside and it just didn't work out. Digweed got a drive-through penalty for annoying yellow flags. How's he done that? Whoa! Ass is going a bit deep there, to say the least. Christ. Whoa. This is worse than the main restart. That's a standard start. We all started with a bit of space at each other, and it's been a bit less clean somehow. But wow, that was intense. We saw a few incidents. We saw the AlphaTauri absolutely bomb it into turn 1 on the inside. And it did not work at all. I don't know how Digweed's got a drive through. I don't know what's going on with his race today. Very unlucky with the looked like a possible disconnect of his controller or wheel. And now he's got a drive through. It said for ignoring yellow flags, but I'm not too sure. I'll be honest, I'm not too sure what for. Just says drive through. Let's have a look at an incident, see if it'll let us know anything more. Ignoring yellow flags, so maybe someone had gone off or he'd overtaken someone before the line and it's rewarding with a drive through. I thought that would be a time penalty, so I'm really curious. Oh, he's having a bad day. He's gone very slow into the pits there. I think he might be having controller issues. I think that might be why. Really, really odd for him. Oh, we've got a safety car. What have we missed by looking at Digweed? But absolute calamity at the back. People slowing, people trying to overtake each other. We've got the sacred bloody yellow flag glitch where people are overtaking each other. Yeah, there you go. 5-second penalty because of it. Safety cars cause safety cars. Martin Brundle said it yesterday, and I'll say it again today. There we go. Whoa. That was interesting. Anyways, so have a look at the position changes. Oh, big winner at the moment. Polish man. Yet to pit though, so remember that. But he's going to have an advantage now over his fellow hard starters because he can pit a few laps later. But it's still quite early for the meet. I say that. By the time we get racing, sorry, I got hiccups now, which is going to be brilliant because my hiccup lasts like 20 minutes. We're about halfway through the race now. By the time he comes into the safety car leaves, you've got to pit now, mate, surely. Oh, he doesn't. Wow. That's a bit surprising, you know, because, I mean, everyone's still in the race bar one, so safety cars call safety cars, like I said. Oh, Fandango, no! No! Oh, you plum! What's he done? What's he done? He's crashed out before the pit lane. How's he done that? Oh, God. I'm not even trying to be high-pitched, just my voice is genuinely going. Oh, that's unlucky for him. Careful there, Digweed. You can get warnings of the safety car, pal. Christ. Fandango's left. Not very happy by the looks of it. Oh, God. Yeah, I wouldn't be too happy either. I don't know if there was any other influence from other drivers with that. I don't know how he's looking backwards there. I'm so confused. Because it's such a slow corner. I don't know how he's done that. I really don't know how he's done that. Interesting. I'm so surprised Polish man didn't pit. It'd be the safest option. But, I mean, if he takes a risk and a safety car comes out in another five laps or so, he's nailed it. He's on the mediums and he's calling home to say hello and say, listen, mum, dad, I might win this race. because I did the right strategy, and I waited and I was patient, rather than that bloody commentary job who thought I should have pitted earlier, who thought he was right. You know, so if it does come out, and he gets that chance to pit under safety car again after this one, he's sailing home. But if he doesn't get a safety car after this one, it's not looking good. Interesting. Fandango was on soft as well, so he would have had very good grip, but he would have had high temperatures, so maybe that played a factor. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens in chat afterwards. Tell you what, usually when drivers have a mishap, they put it in chat. So let's have a look in chat. Usually when. What's bloody going on? Why are they making moves before the line? Says Bazza. I don't know. In cone, I find it a bit confusing myself, but in the cone, you can make moves before the line. You make moves after the pit lane line. Oh, my throat's hurting. Christ. Right, let's have a look in Discord, see if anything was said. Where is the bloody chat? Alright. Paddock. No, nothing said from Fandango, so I can't really tell you what's happened there. But, unlucky for him there. I got a ping. What have I got a ping for YouTube? CRL season 7, round 11, Austria, tier 4. Don't care, pal. We're busy. We're busy. What's Scott chatting on Snapchat? Oh, God. Let's just get the race in. Because I don't know what to talk about. What should I talk? Is it anyone in chat? Anyone in chat willing to have a chat? Because I'm asking to have a chat. I fancy a chat. Let's have a look at the tyres a minute, because this is an interesting one. 15 laps for Polish man. We've already talked enough Schwallock about his strategy, so let's just talk about the rest. Indian G is Mazals, Greek Bill, Bazza, pretty much everyone on hards. They're safe. Now, safe doesn't mean fast. Safe just means that they can get to the end without having to worry about a puncture, and that's going to happen. But I think some of the medium runners might. I said that they're only on 5 laps, so I think they'll get to the end, but they might struggle towards the end when it comes to fighting for position. But clean getaway this time, I think. Not much going on. Nice big gaps as we go into turn 1. Let's just take a look, see if anyone's challenged position. Haas challenging position for a Ferrari. Nearly saw the same as we did on the last restart with the AlphaTauri, but not quite. They don't actually kill each other this time. Going down the inside is the Haas and the Ferrari. Nice apex. Doesn't go deep to cause any contact. Seems pretty decent. Oh, it's contact. Spoke too soon. Ferrari's end though, I think. Don't think that was on the Haas's books. Oh, Mazal's getting very close to Polish man. Obviously, Polish man being on the older tyres, Mazal's being 10 laps clear when it comes to degradation on the Williams. Let's see how he does now. Where is Greek Bill? Greek Bill is in P5, so he pitted as well for the hards on the first safety car. Look at the overspeed. He's going to hold himself back though, knowing that he's got more chances to do so. You can just see the traction is absolutely enormous. Oh, that was close. Nearly a spin there from Polish man onto Mazals. Almost clipping front left and rear right. Draper getting overtaken by Ashjay and Digweed. Draper taking a spin by the looks of it. Half spin as he's still connected to the back of another car. Unfortunate for him, but he's on an alright strategy, so he might be okay to try and climb back later on. Chug spams. So close! Very too close. Nearly too close, sorry. To the Alpine. Oh, Draper's retired in turn 1. Is that going to cause a safety car? Please don't. Oh, it fucking does. Ow. Draper's had a tricky few races lately. Crashing out quite early on in the races. 18 laps in though, so it's not too bad of an innings for an Australia GP. It's a tricky track. Very fast paced. quick corner in, but he's paid the price for going too fast by the looks of it, as he has crashed out. It's unfortunate as well. He's just done his bloody Euro pack on FIFA, and I love the man, Mostovoy. I used to have him last year, Mostovoy the Molotov. That's what I call him. I don't think anyone else in the world bloody calls him that. And normally people are fans of Russians at the moment anyway. I don't know why. That's someone else. I don't get into that. But yeah, bit of an unlucky day for him. I got Jason Park, so did Hedge. I'm quite happy with that because Jason Park is pretty good on FIFA. And I'm a City fan and all, I'm saying that, so he is genuinely very good. But yeah, safety cars, and Polish man gets his extra chance that we was on about. He gets his extra chance to pit. Now, he is going to be right at the back because the safety car came out early enough that everyone's still compiled together. So it's going to be hard work for him, but he has got the freshest tyres on the car. He's got the freshest car on the grid. Bailey will love that. Freshest car on the grid. I'm supporting Haas tonight. Don't know if any of you have seen that, but when Conor McGregor came to Monaco to watch the F1, he talked crap. He just talked rubbish about how Haas had the freshest car on the grid because someone else crashed out in quali, but he didn't realise that people, you know, the cars get fixed before they go into the race. Conor McGregor thought the cars go into the race in the same condition they left quali, even if they were fucked in the wall like Charles was. So yeah, freshest car on the grid for Polish man on the mediums. It's going to be a tricky climb up, but I say that we saw the difference 10 laps of hards made to the guys in front. So when Polish man was on 16 lap old and they was on 6 lap old, the difference was massive. So I think the same will be said for the mediums. They're on less fuel now as we're later in the race, so it's going to be a lot easier for the car to swing around these fast corners without taking too much of a slap to the side of the car when the fuel's jiggling about behind the seat of the drivers. And it'll be nice as well, it's less load pushed down to the tyres as they're fast speed cornering as well. Do you see that, by the way? That bloody bump in that corner is hell. There's a bump in this corner on the way to it that jumps you up and sends your wheel north. Like, it's annoying as hell. I think it's sorted out, retarmac it or saying. But we're not going in. Well, someone's going into the pits this lap, and it is Hartnell, Jay Hartnell. We got a few people in as well. No, people aren't doing softs. No. 9 laps on a soft in Australia. This is going to be chaotic. I can see it now. Digweed, Jay Hartnell. This is brilliant for Polish man because it pushes him back up into the points without having to move a muscle. Just takes away those few drivers in between of his goals, which is obviously to go back to the podium. But even though he's got past them now, doesn't mean he's going to be able to stay ahead because they're on fresh tyres now. And not only on the fresh tyres, they're on even quicker tyres, they're on softs. First few laps of this restart, softs will be king. But when we get a few laps in and temperatures are rising, the mediums might even out a bit better. We saw in HRL 2 weeks ago, a league off to the side of Cone, that it was like that. We saw the mediums struggle to fight against the softs in a late safety car like this, but then at the end the mediums did prevail and I did win that race. So that probably didn't sound like a clap, but it was a little clap, but it probably sounded like someone else that I wouldn't mention on such channel. But we're okay. I'm sure Nathan and the booth Jacob won't worry too much. And DC's an owner too. I think there's more on his account, but I'm not too sure. I know that those three are, but right, we will be going in this lap. They're pulling away. Well, the safety car's pulling away from them as they get ready to start up again. Indian Jesus leading pretty much every lap this race from the get-go. There is every single strategy in play right now, which is going to be interesting. I think they're gone. Not yet. Okay. Oh my god, my throat's in the mud. I need a Strepsil. And he's gone. No, he's not. Sorry, he's gone now. Nice getaway for the Mercedes. Braking slip a bit from the guys behind. I think they'll put it down to tyre heating and not braking slip, but... Oh, no! Greek Bill! It's in the bloody wall. Greek Bill's in the wall. Bailey takes a penalty. Chaos is ensuing. Oh, God. Chaos is ensuing. Look at it. Everyone changing positions. There's so much going on that I'm getting sensory overload. Whoa! Whoa! Bunnies. He's done that twice. He sent me out off the rails. Bloody hell. I don't know what he feels like. Those hard struggling a bit. Oh! Squeeze! Squeeze from Digweed and Jay Hartnell there. Don't think Jay Hartnell would be too happy about that. It looked like he had to back out before getting pushed into a wall. We did join the camera late though, so Digweed might not have done anything wrong, but he did do something wrong there. He got a penalty. Oh, it was a Ferrari off. Got Yellow fell on. He's in the wall. Chuck Spam's getting dropped by Mazzles. Mazzles taking P2 for now. Chuck Spam's on the better tyres as well, but I say better tyres, they're going to start to drop as the laps go on. 20 laps for a medium set around here is a long time. 19 to be exact. Oh, Ashjay losing position to Bunnies. Obviously, Ashjay, I think, has damage. If I'm not wrong. Oh, God. Look at them. They're going 3 wide. Make it 2. Thank God. Oh! Red Bull got close. Red Bull got very close. Almost tagged the rear right of Digweed there, but he didn't, luckily. And there was no collisions because of it. There's a lot of penalties going on now. We'll see how that changes later in the race. We're not going to bother too much about that. Let's get the tyres off, because I don't really want to see that. I just want to see the racing at the moment. Oh, Bailey doing okay at the moment on the hards. Obviously, we got everyone at the front on the older set of tyres. As they didn't pit, they went for track position instead of the softs. And look at the gap. Seems to be the right choice at the minute, because every single soft runner... What the overspeed is that? Absolute move from Polish man there. Hell of a move from a Williams driver. Yeah, well, what I was about to say is that all the soft runners are in the bottom half of that group, so not paid off to what they expected. There was a bit of carnage which would have separated the groups quite a lot. Look at this queue of 5. Bloody hell. Queue of 6. This is going to be very close between these lot. When DRS gets opened, carnage will ensue. And it has. No, he's not. No, he's not. He's not. Thank God. Oh, God. I'm playing pro clubs later and all for Cone FC. Oh, no! Ah, he reset the track and all! Idiot Jesus from P1, and he has caused issue to drivers behind him. So that's going to be a harsh penalty for the reset the track. He's put himself in a wall, or he might have been down to contact. We're not sure in the comms box. But he's gone and put the cherry on the cake with that reset the track. Yikes. Just yikes. Mazzles into P1 now. Chugs P2 and Bailey P3. This has been a bit hectic. Oh, wow. I've just had a text message and it's probably my family telling me to shut up. It's not. Surprisingly. Christ. Yeah, he must have damage. How does he not have damage? He was in the wall. He was in the wall. Well, it's going to be a chunky penalty, so I don't think we'll be seeing him on the podium in any circumstance today for the reset the track. It's unfortunate and all because I caught that on stream. I think it would have been reported anyway because of the issue it caused for the drivers behind actually having to slow for him as he was getting out of the ghosted mode, which is unfortunate for them. But yeah, it really opens the doors for all these drivers here. Mazzles is sitting sweet without any penalties at all. Everyone around him in penalty range has penalties, so even if he does get one, he's still sitting in P1, even with one track penalty warning penalty. It's going to be interesting though. Indian Jesus not having any penalties at the moment. Well, provisionally he doesn't have any, but I'm sure retrospectively he will eventually take one, and he won't be fighting for these positions, which it looks like he will do on stream. Trunders is looking like he'll gain a few positions as long as he can catch back up a bit. But he's getting overtaken by Digweed on the soft. Soft's taking their charm along as they overtake the oldest compound on the grid. Hard tyres. DRS open note for Trunders. Is he going to clap back on this straight? He's not. He's going to look to try and stick with him though and wait for the main straight to do that. But if Digweed does catch up into the 1 second, which it looks like he is, he's going to benefit from the DRS of Indian Gears, which shouldn't be there, but he is. He is. You have to just get on with it and race. Race for now. Wait for penalties after we finish, and stewards can get a look at everything that's happened. But apart from that, looking pretty simple up top. Bailey holding a good gap to Richie, but at the same time he's got a good gap to Chugs, which is not good for him. Ash J, Bunny's going round by the looks of it. No, I think actually it's just an overtake. Oh, Bailey's got another 3 second. He's on 6 now. Oh, there's another safety car. Oh my god, this is going to be chaotic. This is going to be chaos. Absolute chaos. Everyone's going to jump on softs now. Everyone and their grandmother. This is going to be chaotic. Oh my god. Gautier full on DNF. 3 out of 4 DNFs are Ferrari powered cars. So Binotto's in the mud. Gunther in the mud. And who's the Alfa Romeo done? Franz Tost? No, it's not Franz Tost. He's AlphaTauri. What's his name? What's the Alfa Romeo guy's name? I'm Alfa Romeo on F1 Manager. Bailey's not pitted. Are you mad? Bailey's a madman. Or is he? Because if people aren't pitted behind him... Oh! Bailey's got a bit of a shield, actually, for the last few laps. Bailey's got a shield of old tyres with him. And he's the head of the train now. He's got 6 seconds of penalty. Some people behind him with 3s. He might have actually made the right choice there. Because I forgot about his penalties. With his penalties, he's going to have to push... If he pitted and went to... I think it would have been like P8. If he went to P8 with them penalties, it was going to be a hell of a job. Initially, to just get back up to P3... and then to gap that 6 seconds from P3. So I don't think he would have done that. So staying out probably might have been the right choice. But everyone's going to be within like 5-6 seconds of each other on the restart. There's going to be about 2 laps of racing. Oh, it's going to be hectic. Bailey's going to do the best he can to try and gap penalties, but I'm not sure if he can do 6. I'm sure he can do 3 from some people, but it's going to be tight. Tight. Like Tuco would say from Breaking Bad. If you haven't watched Breaking Bad, by the way, at this point in your life, I say your life, you could be like 6 years old or something, you probably shouldn't watch Breaking Bad. But if you haven't watched Breaking Bad and you're over the age of 14, you need to sort something out. Best series in the world. Oh, this is going to be chaotic, man. 15 lap old, 16 lap old hards, fresh softs. It's just a potion for disaster, a recipe for hell. Is it going to come in this lap? It's not. Wow. Okay, so we've got a... Right, I tell you what. Apologies for the language, but I'm going to join... I'm not going to join Bailey, actually, because he's with one of our other mates that has nothing to do with F1, so... Do you know what? Let's get in cone.
May not have. Mate, he didn't even get going. He just turned into a wall and binned it.
Hello.
I may have basically had. Please move to the next speaker. Thanks.
I'm still streaming the tier 3 race, but we're in the safety car period, so I thought I'd join and talk to someone because my throat is at war.
Fucking Josh is ruining the Austria.
There's another safety car
swearing.
period. How many is that?
There is.
Sorry, buddy.
Draper.
What tier 3? What, we're streaming tier 3?
Yeah, I'm streaming tier 3 now. I thought I'd jump in.
Make sure you tune in on Thursday evening for tiers number 2 and 1. Hedghog and Will on commentary on Thursday night as usual, and we'll see you there.
You
Hi,
will.
Josh. So just to clarify, on one of the safety car restarts, I span into the wall coming out the final corner, and I had DRS rear wing damage, I believe. So
Oh Christ!
I was very
Oh,
slidey.
Josh,
and
mate,
lost
that's
it at
tragic
turn
from
one.
you.
Yeah.
What happened in quali? Because we saw you get a 5 grip penalty.
Oh, I spun and I was ghosted in reversing, and then I unghosted while I was reversing, and unfortunately I was hit by Greek Bill. So
Oh God!
I can't believe you did that, Josh, mate. That was
Can't believe I did
Yeah.
what?
not you, mate. Other Josh, Jay Wills. He just
Oh.
crashed. Nathan drafted him in last minute to race.
Right, we're about to get going for the last 2 laps, so I'll leave you lot to it. Cheers,
Right.
Jake, we're back
Good
in a
luck.
bit. Safe. Right, there we go. Here's a bit of insight from some other drivers. Sorry for the language. Hedghog's got poor dining room manners. My throat is through. I can't. Oh, God, it feels like sandpaper. We're about to get going though. We did see Digweed in the back retiring there, unfortunately. He must be having issues with controller or something. Something's not right. But Bailey's about to get going anyway. Let's see how it does. He's gone early. He's gone very early, and he's pulled the gap. He's not got too much to worry about with drivers behind. The gaps are big, apart from here. I think we're going to see an Alpine trying to make a move on an Aston Martin of Mazel's. He doesn't. He's playing it patiently. Not on penalties, so he is looking to take a win still. He's the top of the soft runners, so he's going to be absolutely rapid for these last 2 laps. But it is going to be a last 2 laps. There's not going to be enough time for him to do too much, so he's really got to be efficient with his moves. Like he's trying to be there. The move probably was on, but it is a corner, which is the risk to reward is quite balanced, and maybe even tipping over too much risk. But everything's looking good. Bailey's pulling a good gap from some of the guys behind him. They've got penalties, so he might be able to pull away from them and stay ahead. But the people without penalties, I don't think he's got too much hope in doing so. Look at the pace on the Aston Martin there. Doesn't go for the move. Oh, look at the bloody soft runner. Mazel's. He's going to make a triple move. Oh, no. No. Oh. What? Oh my God, what a move from Mazel's from the 2 cars. He almost got pushed into the wall because I thought that Williams is going to try and push him out and take the outside line there to fight with a Mercedes, but he doesn't. Mazel's is on an absolute charge at the moment. He's not got any penalties. Neither is Indian Jesus, but you will do after the race with his reset the track. Mazel's is looking for a win, but he's got to gain time now. He can't sit behind the Mercedes for any longer, as they're gapping. They are gapping a bit. And when he's pushing the Mercedes around the track, doesn't want to do that. He wants to get past. We're not going to have any DRS, so it's all down to pace. And we've got Eek going off at the back as a Haas. Mazel's coming around now. It's looking close. Bailey is gapping quite well. I don't think it's going to be enough to put him on podium, though, with all the people without penalties behind. D-rate from the Mercedes, not from the Alpine. Oh, big move from Mercedes. Bazza Fox coming around the last few corners. Indian Jesus and Mazel's. Trunders is out. He's crashed before the line. He's crashed in the last lap of the race, and it's not going to be a good look for him. Oh, Mazel's he's going to try and do him on the straight. He's got the Mercedes derating all the way through the last sector. Don't go for the move here. Be patient, my man. Be patient, please. Oh, and he's lost a position because of it. Wheel bashing, and he's round. Why? Why did he push for the move? Oh, no, he's round. Indian Jesus takes the provisional win. I don't believe he'll be taking that win at all. Richie takes the win by the looks of it, and Bailey Fox manages to get P2 after the calamities behind him, not pushing him down on the penalties enough to take him off that 3rd highest step. Jay Hartnell P4, brilliant day for Red Bull, good day for Mercedes, but I think there will be penalties involved with them, specifically Indian Jesus. But my God, my throat's done. My voice is going to be gone by tomorrow. I'm playing pro clubs later, and I'll be calling for passes. I'll be sounding like a 6-year-old because I'm. Ugh. Christ, what an absolute calamity way to end that race there. Was so promising for Mazzles, but I don't know. Maybe he went for that move in the penultimate corner because of the pressure behind him, but ideally you just need to stick behind for the straight, worry about your exit onto the main straight and get him there. But I think he's pushed too hard, a bit too early there, and there will be a bit of regret, maybe a bit of anger towards his fellow drivers. But that is it for the race today. Indian Jesus takes P1 provisionally. We did see a reset to track, so I don't think you'll be holding on to that for too much. So I think Richie is the winner for today. RPM Richie, Bailey Fox P3 at the moment. Jay Hartnell potentially getting a double Red Bull podium, which we don't think we've had this season. So it'll be nice to see. Chug's getting P5 after his very good effort in quali. Not too bad from the McLaren driver. He did start third, so I'm sure he'd be expecting a bit more. But it's not a bad innings at all for an Australian race with so much carnage. Pardon me. Bunnies. 2 massive moments in the same corner on different laps, but he managed to keep it on track. The Canadian driver, P6 from P14. Fantastic race from him. Group Bell started P1, finished P7. A lot to be desired in that race compared to his quali. Eek on his debut, P8. Polish man rounded up P9 and Mazzles 10. Ashjay and Trunders finishing in the points and rounding off the end of said points in P11 and 12. Digweed, Gautier Fillon, Draper, Fandango and J Wills all behind without points, and a few DNFs as well, unfortunately. But I'm not going to do interviews because firstly my voice is done and I'm unsure of how that's actually going to turn out with the podium, so we'll skip that just so we don't lose any opportunities for those who maybe should be on the podium. But we'll call it there. Thank you for watching. Cheers for tuning in. Like Hedghog said a minute ago, we will be back on Thursday for Tier 2 and Tier 1, so tune in for that. Tier 4 will be running right now, so you can go and watch that while I'm finishing this up. So cheers for joining, and yeah, thank you very much for watching, and sorry for the bit of carnage at the end. But racing's racing. We just got to take the best with the worst. Good night, everyone. Safe.